Advancements in imaging continue to transform the way medical professionals practice and treat their patients. And for the 15,000 members of the Society for Nuclear Medicine and Molecular Imaging, the annual meeting is the premier event to gain unparalleled access to the latest scientific advancements and research developments. This year's meeting will be held virtually, and we're here to show you the highlights on SNMMI TV. Hello, and welcome to SNMMI TV, a show created for the community of physicians, technologists, pharmacists, laboratory professionals, and scientists, all working to transform medicine and improve lives. On day one of our program, we'll bring you news of a potential paradigm shift in bone marrow transplant conditioning and the hope that brings to certain patients. Plus, we're speaking to Matt Shah from Siemens Healthineers and Terri Wilson from Blue Earth about the economics of therapeutics. And later in the show, a look back at the Technologist Section of SNMMI. What's changed since its foundation 50 years ago? But first, let's look at today's top events of the meeting. On the first day of SNMMI 2021, the opening ceremony is featuring a special presentation by this year's highlight country, South Korea. A wide variety of continuing education and scientific sessions are offered throughout the afternoon, including the first of 3 South Korea sessions. And the Technologist Section 50th anniversary celebration will take place, featuring Ken Jeong, comedian, movie star, and television personality. There's plenty to cover here on day one. Let's start by taking a closer look at the Sierra trial. The Sierra trial hopes to change the world of bone marrow transplants by using targeted radiotherapy for BMT conditioning.
The Sierra trial is a study of a novel agent that incorporates targeted radiation as part of the conditioning regimen for a stem cell or bone marrow transplant. The IOMAB treatment is being used to treat patients who are older with refractory leukemia, for which transplant ordinarily is not an option. Pound for pound, a easier treatment to deliver than our regular strong transplant therapies. The rates of sepsis and mucositis seem to be lower. It's worked very well to get patients into remission. So it's a very exciting treatment.
It is definitely groundbreaking because this is one of the few treatments where we have been able to integrate dosimetry by doing patient-specific calculations and giving these radiation doses within the prescribed limits. I think it has the potential for application in other areas. It can be used for therapies such as the cellular therapies and gene therapies.
If it proves to be a superior therapy to conventional care, the transplant community will start using the agent more frequently.
Let's return to the events of this week's meeting now. There are 80 continuing education and scientific sessions available to SNMMI members. Dr. Umar Mahmoud helped to develop the program for the meeting. Welcome to the program. As the scientific committee chair, what are you most excited about this year?
I'm really particularly excited about the Wagner lecture. Dr. Satoshi Minashima, he's a brilliant neuroscientist. He's giving a talk on brain imaging across multiple scales. Dr. Irene Bouvat is giving she's a physicist. She's giving a great talk for the Anger lecture in artificial intelligence in nuclear medicine. The basic science summary sessions highlight radiochemistry, highlight the physics, and the Young Investigator Award sessions are not only the rising stars in our field, but also some of the best science that we get to see in the whole meeting. One of my favorite parts of the whole meeting is the highlight symposium. That's at the end, and the entire meeting is summarized in 90 minutes. And I love that, not only the intensity, but just the overview that one gets of the whole meeting.
What are some of the things you learned behind the scenes about running a meeting?
Yeah, so this is the 4th year that I've been running the meeting. I've been chair of the scientific program committee now for 4 years. And the thing that I really have learned over these last 4 years is just how many hundreds and hundreds of people it takes to put the entire meeting together. There's just a true synergy between the volunteers to the people putting all the components together, all the speakers for the science sessions, all the speakers for the continuing education sessions. And it's also impressive to me how far in advance one needs to put the meeting together. We start planning a meeting more than a year in advance, but really over the last 6 months, there's just weekly phone calls or every other week phone calls, putting things together, a lot of different pieces. And it always seems to come together thanks to the hard work of so many people.
Times are different. This is the second year you had to hold the meeting virtually. What did you learn last year that may have helped you this year?
Yeah, that's a great question. So last year we had to pivot very quickly. So the pandemic had just started and we only had a couple of months to really decide we were going to go virtual from in person. And a lot of software didn't exist on how to do that. And one of the things we really learned is that our members love having too much content. So we now have parallel tracks so people can go to different sessions. And the nice thing about having a virtual meeting is you can always go back, watch the other session. And we also went from 33 hours of programming last year to over 118 hours, so more than triple the amount of programming content, which to me is just an incredible amount of work. And we have mostly live sessions this year also. And we also had the opportunity to increase our linkages. You know, in the last year, people have really felt apart. And so we had more networking events, more events where members could talk to members or members could talk to exhibitors. Those are the things that we've tried to enhance. The best parts of the meeting we've tried to make better.
Last night, there was a panel discussion regarding the economics and logistics of theranostics. Matt Shah, Senior Executive at Siemens Healthineers, and Terri Wilson, President of Blue Earth Diagnostics, were part of that panel and join me now. Welcome. What were the main themes that came out of the panel on best ways to ensure new theranostics get to as many patients who need them as possible?
So what we heard loud and clear yesterday was embracing the work with other specialties. So there's going to be a significant influx of patients and becoming comfortable working with some of the other specialties, and also being more comfortable with the patient management itself. This is going to be an inflection point for nuclear medicine.
I think one of the main themes that came out is the need for education and awareness about new radiopharmaceuticals and new radiotherapeutics. It's education not just of patients, but also awareness among referring physicians, whether it be the radiation oncologist, the medical oncologist, or the urologist, in terms of just making sure that some of the outcomes, results from the newest therapies are available.
What lessons can we learn from the past about clinical therapy adoption?
Yeah, I think we really need to focus a lot more on the value that we're creating and the patient outcomes, rather than be focused on the cost side of the house. And also, I think it requires convincing the government, CMS, and the private insurers on the value and more importantly, the actual sort of patient outcomes and the difference it makes in patients' lives. We need to be able to clearly demonstrate that.
Absolutely. Preparing for the radiopharmaceutical therapies through awareness, education of all the stakeholders. One of the challenges that we see a lot is reimbursement. So ensuring that we are working with the payers, both the commercial and the government payers, the legislators, and the patients, making sure that the patient advocacy groups are aware of the value of nuclear medicine, that it's not a last option, that there may be benefit from using it even earlier in their disease progression.
What training is needed for these new therapies for nuclear medicine professionals?
Managing the patients. The diagnostic patients, there's a very low risk of side effects, whereas with a therapeutic patient, there is a higher risk of the patient having a side effect or needing some more consult from the nuclear medicine physician. The other piece that we heard was that we need more nuclear medicine physicians who have the infusion rooms, who are able to provide the therapies in their facilities.
Yeah, I think some of the new training that healthcare providers will need is sort of new tools that really sort of help understand the maximum tolerated dose that you can give to patients in a treatment plan, and also sort of at the same time making sure that there's no adverse unwanted side effects. So I think this is the balance that the healthcare providers will have to figure out. And there'll be new tools such as dosimetry tools or AI tools help in that. I don't think they're a prerequisite for administering those therapies, but definitely will be a significant tool that will help the physicians.
SNMMI TV is brought to you from inside the Society for Nuclear Medicine and Molecular Imaging's annual meeting, featuring interviews with leaders in the field and industry news making headlines across the world. We're also bringing you the latest research and developments from across the globe. You'll find us on the virtual platform in the lobby, the SNMMI TV booth, and on social media. We'll bring you a new episode each day of the meeting, so make sure to watch for much more from the world of nuclear medicine and molecular imaging. We are celebrating at SNMMI TV because it's the 50th anniversary of the Technologist Section. This community recognizes the vital role that technologists play in both patient care and research studies. And it's done so for the last 5 decades. Here to celebrate with us are Tina Buhner and Norman Bolus. Thanks for being here. Congratulations on the milestone. So how are you planning to mark the occasion?
We were really looking forward to celebrating in person last year in New Orleans, but due to the COVID-19 pandemic, we were forced to transition to a virtual meeting, and we did not want to put off the 50th party for another year. So we'll be celebrating our 50+1 years of the Technologist Section virtually. We have a very fun night planned with Dusty York, our incoming president of the Technologist Section, and myself. We are conducting a celebrity interview of Dr. Ken Jeong, a former physician and movie star. So we're really excited for our interview with Dr. Ken, and we hope that you all can join us.
It's a not to be missed epic event. And beyond that, we actually did produce a supplement to the Journal of Nuclear Medicine Technology, and we were able to get that accomplished last year. We hope that that's actually going to be a keepsake for everyone, a point in time that we've documented the history of the Technologist Section, and something that we actually sent out to all of our membership that was joined last year and as a tribute to the 50th anniversary.
What would you say is the most important change since the section was founded in 1970?
Since 1970, we have seen major innovations in the science of nuclear medicine and nuclear medicine technology. With the advent of new tracers and better technology, the field has demonstrated tremendous growth from where it was 50 years ago in terms of diagnostic and therapeutic capabilities, as well as in professional growth. We have seen so many more women practicing and in leadership roles, as well as in research and academia, than we did in the 70s. I am currently the 25th woman president in 50 years, and I think that is an excellent testament to the growth of women leaders within our profession.
In the 70s, when we really got our start, it was just bare bones instrumentation that was, as large as a room. Quality of images was very low with the technology at the time. But we were one of the first imaging professions to use computers to our advantage. And as computer power has gotten better over the years, so has our image quality and the way that we're able to produce images. And now it's just amazing to have seen, even in the last 30 years, the growth.
Let's look ahead. What are your plans for the next 50 years?
I would say that we will be thriving as an imaging modality. We always seem to find a way. At first it was brain imaging, but then we started doing nuclear cardiology. And now we do a lot of nuclear cardiology. And what is now happening is, while we're still doing a lot of nuclear cardiology, this new area of therapy that's called theranostics, and we're a major player in it.
I believe continual advancement in targeted molecular therapy is the future of our profession, and as research and development are a major part of the SNMMI mission and strategic plan, the SNMMI TS will continue to be there to support their technologists every step of the way with resources that they need to continue growing and evolving into these roles. It is really an exciting time for nuclear medicine through the advancement of molecular therapy.
That's it for day one of this virtual meeting, but there are more episodes to come. Here's a sneak peek of tomorrow's program, which includes incoming SNMMI President Rich Wall.
Sometimes those who are the best insured have better access. Sometimes those who live far away from academic facilities can have difficulty getting access. So I think access to nuclear medicine will be a big focus in my work this year.
Until then, I'm Dina Baer for SNMMI TV.